Hello, everybody. I'm Lolita Boykin, your host, and today I will be talking with Gloria Thompson. Gloria is a savvy social worker with many years of experience, and I'm looking forward to our conversation around contentment versus stagnation. Hey, Gloria, how you doing?
Hi, Lolita. How are you?
I am doing good, girl. So I am ready for today's conversation. So, we are in the midlife point. We're still working, still social workers, but sometimes it just seems like we're on the grind. And so, what are your thoughts about that?
Um, I think you're right. I mean, reflecting back, I have been a social worker for 30 years, and it's been a long road. We've talked about we continuously talk about all the different things we've done and the
Mhm.
changes. And so, yeah, I think we definitely are in a transition.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But one of the things that I'm challenged with for me personally right now is, I'm kind of an empty nester. The kids are out the house. I kind of had that, oh yeah, I love my job. And so now in this sort of seasoned area of these last 10 years or so that I plan to be in a profession, I'm feeling a little different. I kind of want to do something different, but not quite sure how to do that. I know the younger generations are talking about the soft life, but I just don't see that for folks our age. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think things are very different. I think as we started to talk about this, have a conversation and lead up to our discussion, one of the things that we discussed was, what stage of life were you in? And I
Mm-hmm.
know one
Yes.
of the things we talked about, we want tapping into our social work background. We think in terms of some of the different stages of psychosocial development. And,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things we talked about was the generativity versus stagnation. And I, for myself, I reached that stage where, we looked at generativity. That stage is actually from 40 to 65. And,
Mm-hmm.
in that stage, you're looking at, what's your contribution to the world? What you're giving back to society. You think in terms of in your 40s, you've started your career, you even have family at that point, but as you progress through the stages,
Mm-hmm.
through that particular stage, we're at the stage where, okay, so now, we have adult children, we have
Mm-hmm.
grandchildren, and I feel we are still actively working with individuals to help them change their life. So we're still contributing not just to our family, and we're contributing to society as a whole as social workers and as
Mm-hmm.
clinicians. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that personal thing that I shared was that with the loss of my husband, I really, really had a change in what was important to me. And I don't think I looked at it in terms of what age I am, but I looked at it
Right.
in terms of, with my commitment. When I said I do, I thought I had a good 80 or 90 years, had some time in. And,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it kind of changed my perspective. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the conversations I had, we talked about being at the table, reflecting on my
Right.
career. I remember being at every table that we were introduced to be at.
Yes,
And
girl, this
even
was
not,
true.
and even when we weren't introduced, we introduced ourselves, you know.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
as someone, we introduced ourselves and we made the connections. We talk about how our journey is parallel in some ways as far as working in the university, working in
Mm-hmm.
education, mental health,
Yes.
working with SAMHSA. And I wouldn't give up
Right.
anything, for the experience that I had as a professional. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but, now at the stage of my life, and, I don't mind sharing that I turned 60 last year, and I'm at that
Mm-hmm.
stage where, hey, I love what I did. I want to give back. I want to give back in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
that's where I am,
that
and
is
I don't see it. I don't see it as stagnation. We're talking about
Mhm. Mhm.
generative, you're giving back to, you're investing in the future. And stagnation
Mhm.
refers to is not moving. But that's where
Right.
I see the term contentment.
Mhm.
Contentment
Mhm.
meaning that I'm
Right.
focused on being happy. Um, and right now I think society as a whole, we gain our happiness through our employment, through our
Right. Yeah.
career, and as we journey through life right now, and where I am, I want my
Mhm.
happiness. I'm not getting my happiness. I really don't want my happiness to come from work. you know
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
look, when I think of terms of happiness now, I think of terms of my family, my church
Mhm.
community, my
Right.
environment. So it's a little bit
Right.
different.
And I think that's good because happiness, contentment, it should really be defined by the individual rather than we're being pushed to be someone we're not and we're not in alignment ourselves. And then that brings up a whole bunch of other issues.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
one of the challenges is that, everywhere you hear women empowerment, being the boss,
Mm-hmm.
being, excelling.
Mm-hmm.
But, as Black women, we've been carrying a load for a long time, and we
Yes.
didn't call ourselves the
Preach.
boss, but hey, we were the boss. We were the boss in
Right.
our home.
Right.
We were forced to be maybe not the boss in making the money that we should have, but we were the boss in determining, what was going to happen with our families, and being really,
Mm-hmm.
really, we didn't have the luxury to be a passive participant. We were very
Right.
actively
Right.
involved. So
Right.
I think that's one of the challenges, is that, society is say, hey, you're still young. 60 is the new
Mm-hmm.
is the new 40.
It,
Yeah. No, not
right.
really.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I don't
So,
I don't want to do what I did at 60. I don't want to do what I did at 40.
right, right, yeah. So tell me this. So for you, the big shift happened after you lost your husband. And I mean, that is a major life crisis. So what do you think would be the shift for other people?
I think I don't want to I hope it will not have to be a loss for it to be a
Hmm.
shift. Because for me, what that shift did was for me to stop looking at excelling in my career, but to look at excelling as an individual, as personal
Hmm.
growth. Um,
Hmm.
we we
Hmm.
we have a personal friend who Avis Cato Brown, who actually is focusing on self care right now, and she's on this crusade uh, to
Hmm.
focus on nurturing and self care. And, I don't want people to wait until they're 60 or until they experience a major life change. Or like you said, you're an empty nester. That's,
Yeah.
so practicing some of the self care that is outside of the hustle and bustle of, you know, working
Work.
and doing for
Right.
others. Focus on doing for yourself. What are you doing today, every day? What are you doing to take
Right.
care of yourself?
Well, I'm just gonna say this. Now that sounds real good, but like you said, for black women, who has time to do that? We feel like we're taking care of it's not our kids, it might be our husbands or partners or parents or the church folks. And a lot of us may feel guilty or may feel like that's selfish to kind of start exploring what makes us happy, what brings us purpose, independent of those other external factors. So what would you say about that?
What I will say, if you don't take the time, life is going to give you the time. No,
Meaning.
which means that if you don't take the time, you're going to be forced to take the time, and
Mm.
you're going to be exhausted. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
I, at the time that, just to share, at the time that my husband was ill, I
Hmm.
had this. I don't even know if I did. I wanted my goal. Let me tell you, one of my goals was,
Hmm.
by 25, my goal was to have my PhD. Got my master's from
Oh,
Tulane. My goal was to,
okay.
to go directly and work on my PhD. And I said,
Yes.
nope. I start working, and I don't know. I started working late on my PhD, and then life happened.
Hmm.
I was taking care, working two jobs, full
Right.
time,
I
part time
remember.
job,
Yes.
taking care of, helping, spending as much time with my family as possible,
Hmm.
helping to take care of my husband, and in a PhD program. Okay, that was insane. That was insane.
Yeah.
Many people
Yeah.
have said to me, and I did everything except the dissertation. And I actually
Hmm.
had someone to say, to me, I just couldn't go that far and not go on. And every time
Hmm.
I think about it, I
Hmm.
think about by finishing, is that what will I have to give up to do that?
Hmm.
And
Oh, now that is powerful.
I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give up my
Hmm.
sleep. I don't
Right.
want to give up my peace.
Yes. Yes.
So
Oh, yeah. So that's good. You've made that decision. You had some heartache that kind of brought you to that point, but you're kind of moving forward and finding purpose and
absolutely,
productivity in
yeah.
other ways. So tell us.
Not just the self care, but I'm finding other interests. I think I share with you, and nobody would believe it. My family can't believe I'm in jewelry making now. And they're
Oh,
like,
how relaxing.
I know, and I'm good at it. And that was like
Look at you.
I never took the time to even think about doing something like that. And it's not, if I think in terms of, is that really giving back? Yeah. And when
Hmm.
I have someone like one of my sisters or somebody say, "Hey, can you make me this?" And it's something personal
Yeah,
for them,
right,
just giving
right.
back in a different way. Well,
And you know what? That's okay. And I think in today's time, that's just what we need, maybe some different ways thinking out the box to see how can we make life more enjoyable and
absolutely.
purposeful for us. And I mean, that's great. Now, are you planning on taking the jewelry making to the next level that some people might say, like selling it, or is it just something you're doing,
No,
just for enjoyment
I
for yourself?
want to, but I'm not looking to, I'm not, I want it. I am selling it. I'm doing some of the markets where I can meet people and things like that, but I haven't looked at, hey, I want to turn this to $1 million business. Maybe I should, but no, why should I? Society may tell me, yeah, if you're going to do it, you should, thrive for that. But, I just want to enjoy it. I don't
Yeah,
want it to
enjoy the
be hard right
process.
now.
Right. Right. Well, you're talking about what's really a buzzword right now is really being mindful. Mindful of your
Absolutely.
time,
Yeah,
mindful of this activity, and being very purposeful about what's important to you. And it doesn't have to be driven by what we're told that's the most important thing, which is, the almighty dollar. It's
yeah,
not always that. Because, when we go through difficult things, we're not thinking about how much money I made, did I have the best job? It's sort of like, but people are here to support me.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think that is a great testimony, even for younger generations, particularly younger professionals who may be on that hustle and grind, to say, wait, they can step back, relax, find some enjoyment and purpose in some other things outside of work, if that's not their whole life.
Absolutely. What I want to, one of the things I want to stress in our conversation is that how do we change societal expectations, um, and to expect
Mm-hmm.
personal expectations, is
Mm,
it's
yes.
okay to have some societal expectations, because we really should have goals, and we really should be goal oriented, and
Right.
we work hard, and we should really earn what money that
Mm-hmm.
will allow us opportunities. But it is
Mm-hmm.
okay if you decide, I want to do something and do something different, and not
Mm-hmm.
feel being judged and criticized for that. Um,
Right.
and not even
Cool.
I'm at the stage where, in my 60s, where I think people are okay with it. But imagine, like, for you or for somebody younger, if you decide, I don't want to do the hustle bustle now, that should be okay. And
Yeah.
how, and maybe you can share, what do you think
Yeah.
that person needs to do in order to defend? And it sounds so horrible that you have to defend your choices, but
I know.
in some ways you are defending your choice.
Right. And I think you're right because, my journey is a little different. I am looking to transition from, working direct therapy to doing some other things, but things that are more enjoyable that have a financial gain to it. And that's a little different because people are like, you need to be the boss, you should be a supervisor, and I'm not interested in that. I just want to be able to use my talents to help.
Absolutely.
Haven't figured that out exactly, and that's part of the journey with mindful melodies that I'm working towards. But a big piece of it is looking at what's really important. And for me, my health, because if I'm stressed out, I can't enjoy life. I can't help anybody else either. And so with some medical issues, I've realized that, okay, I have to kind of make physical health a priority, but also mental health. But I think for people who may be at the beginning point of trying to figure out, okay, maybe I want to do something a little different from what society expects of me, it's really sitting back with what's really their core values, what's important to you, and then sort of building up, on, what do you like? What's something you've done that you've never done before? Because I remember you went on a cruise by yourself. That is huge. How many people do that? But from what I remember you sharing, what a great experience that was for you.
Absolutely.
So,
You
yeah,
know,
so go ahead.
yeah, I wanted to, I have a few things that I think can help people, move
Mm-hmm.
for contentment,
Mm-hmm.
to recognize not to become stagnant. Well,
Right.
absolutely the
Yes.
goal is not to become stagnant, but, seek out activities and new experiences that push you out of your comfort zone.
Yes. Yes.
It's not drastic, just something small, maybe, you know.
Like what? What do you
Uh,
think would be a small thing?
I think one of us we talk oftentimes about retreats and
Ooh,
expanding
yeah.
something that you wanted to do for a long time to just do it. Stop trying to figure out how it's going to work out. Just do it. Just do
Okay, you hitting at me now.
it.
Woo. I, I just need to do is stop
Just
trying
do
to be a
it.
perfectionist in my head, huh?
Just do it.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Go
Just
ahead.
do it. Identify what are your passions. What are your
Yes.
interests? Think about how you want to grow, your personal
Mm,
growth. Uh,
okay.
Something that's important, I think, also is to surround yourself with supportive and positive individuals. And
Oh, yeah, definitely.
anybody that know me will know that I say do not align yourself with people who co-sign on your bull. Okay. And I want to say
Oh,
something else, but
mm-hmm,
your bull, you know what? But I
mm-hmm,
don't want
mm-hmm.
yes people in my corner. I want
Yeah,
people to tell me, okay, have you really thought about this? Have
right,
you,
right.
challenge it, not to tell me don't do it, but
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Go along with you
No, no,
to
no,
keep
no.
the peace.
It's
Yeah.
funny on. It's this new commercial that Just Judy is on. Don't pee on my leg and tell me that it's raining. Just don't.
Yes.
you know.
Oh,
So
right,
surround
right.
yourself with supportive, positive individuals. They
Yes,
inspire you. They give you a new perspective. You know what?
yes.
And think in terms of when you think about your friends,
Mm-hmm,
hopefully your friends are through all different stages of life because we can
mm-hmm.
learn from everybody.
We can,
A lot
right,
of my
yeah.
friends are much older, and man, I've
Mm-hmm.
learned so much from them. I have younger friends I'm learning from, so you know
Yes.
different
I think that
perspectives.
enriches life. Yes.
Absolutely. And the last thing I just wanted to share about to help you become content and not become stagnant is embrace
Mm-hmm.
ongoing learning. Stay curious,
Ooh,
explore new
yes,
things.
yes,
And I love
yes.
that about you. I mean, you are so engaged at all times.
Am
Um,
I don't
oh yeah. Yeah. So, and you welcome every opportunity and it never stops. We never get too old to learn.
This is true. This is true. Well, great. So let me just put you on the spot right now.
Uh-oh.
In the theme of being content and not stagnant, do you
Okay.
have a book that you've read or are reading or want to read that you think could be encouraging for our listeners?
Wow. I have to think about that. I know
Okay.
we shared one. I'll have to think about that.
Think about that and I will post it later. When you were
Absolutely. Sounds
talking
good.
about trying new things, Tabitha Brown has I think it's a newer book called I Did a New Thing.
Oh
And I
wow. Okay.
have it on Audible, and it's like each day, you know how she is. She'll tell you her story, and
Uh-huh.
then she'll suggest doing one thing. And it might be simple, like me. I wear dark colors. Wear something colorful, which is kind of, go against the grain from
Okay.
what I
Okay.
normally do.
That's
And so
cool.
that might be a resource for our readers that they can try. That's something I would share
Okay. Great.
that
Great.
it's been good for me so far. I have not gone through that. I think it's like a 30-day kind of journey. I may be on day 4, but
Okay.
we
Okay.
keep pressing. So
Okay.
yeah. Is
Okay.
there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up and land this plane?
I think that's it. Something I think you mentioned that there's some worksheets that people can work toward. Even if there's not develop, explore. When I say explore, look at other resources. Create a binder for yourself where you see something. This is something that I want. Uh, this was something that I like. This activity. It helps me
Yes.
grow. Just being open to things.
Ooh, that is good. Awesome, awesome. So, well, I just want to thank you for just sharing your nuggets of wisdom with us. Any other comments before we wrap up for today's
No,
episode?
I think that's it. I think that's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Gloria, for talking with us.
Thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
And you too. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.